me. Okay, now we're good. So I will get started. So for me, I just feel like we can all say we've had some struggle and adjusting during this time. It's normal, but I know for myself, like I had to think back and kind of pull myself out of it. So I kind of sat down and was like, I'm doing myself a disservice. I'm doing my team a disservice. I'm doing my challenger a disservice. Like anybody, like I was not being there 100% for them. So for me, it was like, what can I do right this minute to kind of like pull myself out of that? And it honestly doesn't matter because I know I've had a few people who've said to me, but like, I don't have a good coaching story or all of that, but we all have to start somewhere. And it doesn't matter where you are in your life, in your business, whatever. There's one thing, like I have a little bit of homework assignment for everyone. So the one thing we want you to do, the first thing, is to just think about what this community has done for you, whether it be on your own personal journey, financially, whatever it is, like spiritually. What's the one thing that you really just feel like, if I didn't have this, like, especially with what we're going through right now, like I would have not been able to get through this, my sanity, whatever it might be. That's my kind of first homework assignment, number one. So there's three things that, this is kind of what helped me get out of my funk. So I'm going to share with you, except for I didn't share my screen yet. So hold on. I lied. I'm not going to share with you yet. There we go. Now I'm going to share with you. So I didn't make anything like too crazy fancy, but three things that I kind of did to take ownership of my business during this time, and three simple things that you can do too. So the first one is to actually just keep it simple. When we start thinking about all of these other things, you know, I have to post this and I have to do that and I have to do this and I didn't get my email sent out and I didn't do all this, like then it spirals. And that's when you're, especially now, like our anxiety is already through the roof and you're like, oh my God, I'm never going to get caught up on life. Like, even though I literally been sitting in my house for 5 weeks, but don't feel like I've been caught up on life. But just keep it simple. Like, just keep it very basic. Like, don't overthink it. It's just like as if, you know, you were inviting your friend to go to a sip and share. Like, that's like how simple it should be. Like, hey, I saw this thing posted. Do you want to go with me? That, just keep it simple. When we start overthinking it, and that's when you get caught up on your words too, and then you just start thinking, it doesn't come naturally. Like, I was actually just having a conversation earlier with someone that I had reached out to, and instead of like rambling on like the price and all that, I just had to take a step back and be like, what is she telling me she needs? Like, otherwise I'm going to start rambling and it's going to be crazy. Like, just be like, this is what I recommend because this is what I like. And I just basically was like, yeah, with the starter kit, like I would do Shakeology. Because it's my favorite thing. Like, just tell them why you like it. You don't have to be technical unless someone really wants like the ingredients list and the science behind it. Most people are going to go based off of your, like, what it's done for you. So, hi, I think Stormy is here.
Is she? She just sent me a message saying that she was.
Hi. We're just getting started there. So that's the first step. I don't know if she's video or not. I just saw her though. Let's see here. Come on. There we go. The second thing is pick a program, And it doesn't have to be a workout program. If you just want to follow 2B, there's things for that. You can use like the challenge group guides for Ultimate Portion Fix or 2B Mindset. I think I have a couple too, so if you want, I can share that if you don't have that. But pick a program and pick a start date. Like, that's all I had to do. I mean, thankfully 10 rounds kind of like just kicked off too, which was super helpful. Because that's something new and exciting that we're all kind of happy about. And it came at a perfect time. Like, had we known all of life's crazy, I don't think they could have picked a better time for a new program, because it just gave us all something to lean into. But yeah, just find something, even if you're, maybe you've been doing this for a while. So I was actually thinking about this myself after I finished 10 rounds, just because the past month has been a little wacky. I was like, I think after I finish this, I need to go back to like the very first thing that I committed to when I started and do that. Like, just go back to that, like, day one, and start that program over again. So one, it just gives you something. Yeah.
Can I just like add
Yeah.
something? So you and I have talked about this. To go back to the first point that you made about like not overthinking it, but that's where I was there like 2 weeks ago, last week even.
Yeah.
Because I felt like all of these people and all of these coaches were doing all of the things, and with everything going on, and Andy's here and my 2 kids are here and I'm trying to work from home and we're homeschooling and, like all this stuff. I'm like, I don't have time to do all of the other things. I really just started focusing on literally breaking it down. So that's why we're actually doing, on May 5th, we're starting to do carb cycling for 21 days. And like, that's what we're doing as a group. And when you mentioned going back, pick a program and the start date, I'm actually not doing 10 rounds. I was in such a place when all of this started that I went back to the program I started with. I've been doing 80-day obsession because I felt like I just needed that, like for my mental health, to do that kind of thing. So I think it's fun, interesting that you're talking about that, because it's true. There's something about like the program that you start with that it's like, I don't know, like you just have a connection with the trainer and, that kind of thing. Like you start with Ultimate Portion Fix, like Autumn's going to be your person, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So I feel already, like I'm already thinking about stuff like through her videos, the 21-day fix or the portion stuff. I keep, every time she's talking with her little group and they're goofing around and they're saying things, they keep saying things that I want to write down, like, oh wow, I like that. Just stuff that you can say to people that get them thinking the right way. And that's something I'm not even completely through the program, and I already want to go back to it. So
yes. See, yeah,
go back to it. Like, that's a perfect opportunity to be like, I just completed this, but I'm so excited to learn, to go back and like refresh, invite more people to join you. Like, that's perfect. Like, I'm so excited about it.
I have a question while you're on the subject. So as a coach or new coach or whatever, so when you say pick a program and a start date, is that the base, is that like kind of like the foundation of what you do as a coach to kind of keep your followers following and then to gain new? So you just kind of keep doing different programs and trying to pull people into it? Is that kind of like the foundation of it, is picking something, picking a date, and then kind of advertising?
Yeah. So that's basically like the basis of your marketing plan. So I don't have one really written out very well. I'm literally doing like each day at a time right now.
But you can have your own market plan and your own way of doing challenge groups. Like you can use Facebook, but if you don't want to use Facebook, you know what I mean? Like, so you can choose how you do it. Okay.
Yeah. So Gwen, if you want to, even you and I can get on a call and we can talk through this too, if you want
Okay.
to. Gwen is completely new, Tiffany.
Okay.
Like
this
just
is,
signed
like,
up as a coach.
blank. Like, it just has the days of the week. And then one of these days, I'll sit down and plan May, maybe. Might do just week by week again. We'll see. I don't know. I just don't want to get overwhelmed because it's been, I think getting back to normal will be good. But yeah, literally, and you can do, like you said, you could do either any platform you want. So I'm still in that like weird, you'll probably hear as you're going through like new coach training, like your warm market and your cold market and all of that. So I'm still like in that where I still have like warm market people on Facebook that I talk to, but I'm engaging in my colder market on Instagram, if that makes sense at all. So I'm like finding people that I can relate to that I don't know or have like no connection to on Instagram, and kind of reaching them a little bit more that way and having those conversations so that when they do keep coming back and watching me, then that's when I can like form that connection already and then do the invite. But I still get a lot of people from Facebook.
Yeah, most of my people come from Facebook.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So
sorry, Andy's behind me.
that's it. When you're doing the ultimate portion fix right now. Oh, sorry, the cat. Like, so yeah, I would just say, I mean, you can obviously talk with Amber a little bit more one-on-one, but keeping it simple again, like when you know you're going to finish the program, that Monday after you finish or whatever, that would be like your start date, and you would just say, I just finished this, however you want to like talk about it and invite you, but very simple. Yeah, you could just say like, I'm doing it again just because, you know, like you said, there's always things that you could go back to and relearn. Like you can even just talk about that. Like, I've picked up so many nuggets, but I don't know, you know, I want to like write them down, or I want to go back through them again, or however. It sounds like you. And then typically start like on a Monday, but you don't have to. You can literally start Ultimate Perfect anytime. It's just easier, I know, for like workout programs to start on a Monday, but it doesn't have to be. There's no right or wrong.
Okay.
And sorry, there we go. And the third one is to invite. That's simple. It sounds
the most important thing.
It is the most important thing. And
it really is.
Had to like get over myself this week too and actually do that. So it's been the first thing that I've been doing in the morning. Literally, like before I even get out of bed, I like put my glasses on and send like a few invites from my stories. Because otherwise I will like put it off and put it off and put it off. So I've literally just been doing that, like put my glasses on so I can see, send my invites before I'm like even thinking, and then I can go about doing my workout and doing everything else for the day.
It's literally the hardest part, at least for me. Inviting is like, I feel like coaches talk about it all the time, about how you just don't want to do it. It's so weird though, but it's like you don't want to do it because you don't want to come across as like salesy. Like you want to do it because you want everybody to like feel the way that you feel, but you don't want to because you don't want to come across as salesy, if that makes any sense at all. And especially right now, it feels awkward. I think at least it was for me, because I'm like, I don't want people to spend money if they're not working.
Yeah.
So that's why I started talking to Val about what she was doing, and she's been carb cycling because that's what works for her. So she said that people were starting to reach out to her just because that's what she was doing, was sharing like what she was doing in her stories, and she was talking about it in her posts. And so people were like, what are you doing? And so that's when I was like, why don't we just do a 21-day challenge in our group? I can invite and say, hey, this is what I'm doing in my group. If they want to start out with just Beachbody On Demand, then it's okay, because they're going to have a meal plan and they're going to be in the group. But if they want the full package, that's okay too. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I guess for me, like, that's how I kind of did it, because it felt a little less like,
Yeah.
right?
And right after, so like right when we were talking about that too, is when I was just like, I made it more of a point to like put things in my stories as well. Like, sure, I'm just doing this workout, but I wasn't even like putting like, how about you join me or anything like that. Like, want more information, something that I can say, hey, I noticed you watched this. Like, do you want me to send you more info? If not, like, that's fine too. But just keeping it like genuine. And I kind of go back and forth. Like, sometimes I feel like the voice memos work better, but sometimes not. Like, it just really depends. So whatever you feel more comfortable with. I feel like not everyone plays them. Like, I know for me, it's weird, like when I try to even play them back from someone else, and I drive a lot. So if anyone's similar to me and they're commuting typically, like when you try to play those in the car, like it doesn't always come through the radio and like the Bluetooth, and it's all messed up. So like sometimes for me it just like doesn't work right. So I've just been typing it out. But once they start having, like once you start getting like more of a conversation with those people, then definitely I feel like it comes off more like yourself. Like you're just genuinely talking to them. Like, yeah, let me send you some information, or oh, yeah, this is what I would do, or however, but they sound, you hear that in your voice that you're not just trying to sell them something. But it also, so I'm an optometrist normally, not a stay-at-home dog mom. So I always have to like go back to that too. So like if someone came in to the office and they were like, I get glare at night, I would immediately tell them, get non-glare. Like, why would I not? You have a problem and I'm going to solve it for you. Like, yeah, do that on your glasses. Or I would tell them about a design of contacts that I think might help them for night driving or whatever. I would give them my opinion. That's all it's the same thing here. Like, I always have to like tell myself, like,
right,
the same thing. Like, they came to you, they watched your story. They may not be ready to tell you they have a problem yet. They might just want to watch still, but they're clearly coming to you. So I have to like get out of my head and be like, all I'm doing is saying, this is what I like. If it's your jam, cool. If it's not, that's okay too. Literally, I've had some, like, she's an old pharmacist that I used to work with. And she spends like so much money, it's ridiculous, on like Orange Theory and like spinning and
like, that's expensive.
bar classes and all this stuff. Like, so finally now, like, we're actually at the point where she's like talking about joining, but she's been literally watching me since day one. 3 years. So don't get discouraged when someone's like, I don't think so. 3 years.
Oh yeah, people do it too all the time.
Of like, she's picking out the Shakeology, like, what the flavor that she wants after 3 years. So, do not feel bad. That was just like number one.
Well, how do you know she's watching the videos?
The stories.
Yeah.
Let me show you.
Does it shows who has viewed it? Is that?
Yes, but only for the first 24 hours.
Yeah.
So, let me see if I can show you since I have it already sharing. Maybe.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to show up on social media, Gwen.
Yeah. It's the scary part.
So it's like really awkward and uncomfortable at first, but then it's interesting because you were me basically a year ago because I started in January, and it's no joke. It's literally the compound effect over time. So like people are gonna watch you every single day, and they're going to see what you're doing. They want to see first that you're consistent with what you're doing.
Right.
And the first time that you reach out and say like, hey, thanks so much for following me, like that kind of thing. We don't ever send like, hey girl messages or anything like that. It's always like building a connection. Melanie Mitchell always says you're a professional friend maker, basically. But like 3 months from now, the people who are watching you start your journey, they're going to be the ones who are coming to you.
Okay.
Like, I'm interested, like I see what you're doing, that kind of thing. So literally it's just being you, only a little bit more open about it.
Okay.
It is awkward at first, and it takes a lot to come out of your comfort zone, I think. At least it did for me.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even have Facebook when I started coaching.
Wow.
Yeah, so it took a lot for me to like put myself out there.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine.
I'm gonna try it this way.
But when you do, and we can talk, we should probably like find a time to talk. So that I can like help you with this kind of stuff. But it's literally, yeah, Tiffany, go ahead.
I couldn't get it to screen share, but you can just look at your stories and then you can see the viewers right over here.
Oh, is that Facebook?
Or this, that was
Facebook, yeah,
Instagram.
it's the same way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like when you see it'll be viewers down here. And then if you click up on that, maybe.
Okay. See, I've never used Instagram, so I'm going to have to do it.
So that's okay. You can start with Facebook and have that be your platform for right now and then switch over.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just thinking like that way you're not like super overwhelmed with trying to do both platforms.
Because that's what I was like, kind of like, where do I start? Which platforms do I use? What apps do I use? Which, you know what I mean? So this is really helpful.
Yeah. I would just stick with like one for now. And then once you feel more comfortable, like kind of get used to showing up. As Amber said, that's kind of like the open sign on your business is like when you're showing up. And honestly too, like especially during this time, and Taylor, I don't know if you have been on a call with Taylor, but Taylor gave me the idea to even just take a break from social media once a week.
Yeah, that's where I learned that from too.
For 24 hours. And I'm like, you know what? During Lent, I'm going to do that. And then all of this craziness happened. It was like, that was a breath of fresh air to like, just not that you have to worry about showing up, but I feel like people will they respect you when you set those boundaries too. And it's so funny.
Yes, set business hours too for yourself.
Yeah, it's so crazy to see that. Because Gwen, I can honestly remember being like where you are, and I'm like, this makes no sense to me. And then like 3 years later, it comes like full circle, and I'm like saying the exact same thing that my coach said. And I'm like, holy crap, like it's so true. Like once you just get into it, like you really start to see how everything that like everyone has said before, you're like, oh yeah, now I get it.
It's so true. Okay. You also want to, I think my cat just meowed. I don't know if you heard that or not. I don't know where she is, but lean into the Knockout Brigade too. That's the page that Katie Ersta runs. And there's a lot of training opportunities, calls, all that kind of stuff in there.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's how, I guess I'm just thinking, like, that's how I learned everything, was I just started following the stuff that Katie was sharing in the team page.
Okay.
And like got plugged into like different calls and stuff like that with her.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
But
the like the new coach calls are on Wednesdays.
at noon, and there's a new session, I think, starting this coming Wednesday,
Yeah.
like the 28th.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you're back to work. I don't know if noon would work for you. It would be 11 o'clock your time,
I
a.m.
can do it at work.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really
Um,
flexible, so I can just step out and do it.
okay. But it would be basically you would just like listen to like the training and stuff like
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Right? I honestly haven't done those coach calls.
I have
The
not
new
done
ones.
the mentorship because typically I'm at work.
Right, same for me too.
And like later.
But yeah, but I think there's a new series, like a day one series that starts on the 28th. So if you can get in on that call at 11,
Okay.
I will send out, I've been trying to be better about sending out like the team emails,
Mhm.
now that I've got my shit together.
I also have
Right now.
gonna
Just
stop
saying.
like recording us since we could just
Oh, geez.